All right, it's 6:30. It is time to call the meeting to order. This is Monday, December 19th, 2022, 6:30 in the evening, Whitko School Board of Trustees Board meeting. Let's start the meeting tonight with a pledge of allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have no media present tonight. Is that correct, Teresa? Okay. We're going to start tonight with our Students of the Month. From South Willie Elementary, nominated by Caroline Crow, we have Braylon Reed. Congratulations, Braylon. From Pearson Elementary, nominated by Autumn Courtney, we have Guinevere Griffith.
Chose to nominate Gwen because she shines very bright academically, but with character. We decided that she deserved to be our Student of the Month because she possesses great initiative, responsibility, takes great pride in her work, and she's always willing to help even when nobody is looking. So I feel that that's great character to have as a Pearson Elementary student, but then also it's great life traits to have as well.
Congratulations, Gwen. From the Whitko Career Academy, nominated by Megan Anderson, we have Zoe Gaff.
She often assists me when she is in class with discussion or first-hand experiences she has had in the jail. I know I can count on Zoe to be a mentor in my class and help with projects if needed. Zoe always has a positive attitude and is ready to tackle whatever school assignment is thrown her way. She is also able to maintain employment without letting her schoolwork fall behind. I'm excited to see what the second semester and Zoe's future in the criminal justice field has in store.
Congratulations, Zoe. From Whitko Junior Senior High, from the junior high specifically, nominated by Teresa Neppel, we have Marissa Rogers.
Marissa here is very confident and an intelligent seventh grader with a compassionate heart. She strives to learn and to be successful in and outside of the classroom. During the Lego competition in Fort Wayne in November, Marissa's actions and kindness did not go unnoticed. After her team had competed against another team, she decided she wanted to go to that opposing team and compliment them on their performance. Later on, it was revealed to my husband and I that her actions were greatly appreciated by the students of that team, as well as the adults. What we did not know, nor did she, is the previous year, this Lego team had a very negative experience and had a sour taste about the Lego competition. But thankfully, because of Marissa's kindness and compassion and just being a human, revived their feeling, and they were very appreciative. And again, to me, that speaks volumes, less about the classroom, more about what our students do outside of the classroom and in life. And her kind words and encouragement leave an impressionable mark wherever she goes. So, Marissa, congratulations.
Congratulations, Marissa. And nominated by John Strayer from the high school, we have Carly Schroff.
I'm not a very good ad libber, so I wrote something down also. Carly has a way of bringing out the best in people. She doesn't judge a person before she gets to know them. She has a sense of humor and knows how to listen. Others seem to be drawn to her because of these attributes. Another quality that she possesses is a positive attitude that she presents. Carly is very intelligent and picks things up easily. However, when Carly doesn't fully understand a concept, she'll work hard until she gets full comprehension. She likes to take on challenges and doesn't stop until she completes them. When given a task, I know Carly will get it done and done well. She's a student that you can fully trust. I know I can ask her to do something that's very important to me and it'll get accomplished. She has a big heart and is always willing to help anyone. Carly is also involved in many activities. Her hard work and ability and positive attitude allows her to do well in all of them. She is a true leader. In conclusion, Carly Schroff is one of the hardest working, caring, trustworthy, and positive people I know. She is truly a model student. She is the type of student in which I hope keeps in touch with me throughout her career after high school. I know she'll be successful in all she does and be a great asset to our society. I try to preach in my class more than math, work ethic, and respect. And she definitely is very respectful, and she has an amazing work ethic. She is going to go places in life. Carly Schroff.
Congratulations, Carly. We're going to have headliners next, which is great news from around the district, and after that, if the students of the month would like to leave, you're welcome to do so. So tonight for our headliners, we have just a few little things. First of all, we want to congratulate Jordan Leininger, who is the daughter of Thad and Rochelle Leininger of Pierceton, for her 2023 Lilly Scholar designation. The Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship pays for 4 years of college. Jordan received this scholarship in a surprise celebration Tuesday, December 13th. And Jordan's 10-year-old Lamb Percy also attended the award ceremony. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the second Lilly we've had in 2 years, correct?
It is, yes.
That's great. We had a state Lego team at the state Lego robotics competition on Saturday, December the 10th. Whitko's Energizer team tied with 3 other teams for 21st through 24th place out of 49 teams. They were nominated for the Rising Star Award. This award is given to teams whose project was noticed by the judges with an expectation of great things in the future. Congratulations to Liam Auer, Carter Emhoff, and Marissa Rogers. In news with our band, we have some exciting news that came out of that department. Sweetwater Sound had requested the use of some of our members of the Whitko Marching Pride to model while playing their instruments for promotional materials. Currently, there is a large backdrop featuring Whitko band students on display at the Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago, along with other promotional items featuring our students for Sweetwater that they are distributing. And finally, we want to say a congratulations to junior-senior high science teacher Don Dick for completing 18 graduate hours at the University of Indianapolis to become credentialed as a dual credit instructor through the STEM Teach Indiana program. And that's our headliners for tonight. If any of the students of the month want to leave, you're welcome to do so at this time. We're going to go ahead and move on to our strategic plan goal committee updates. We have the committee to expand capacity with Jamie Pano and Chris Evans, co-chair, having a presentation for tonight. And I believe this is a collaboration with Amy Evans and Joel Holsapple, which they are on the committee to expand our pathways by enduring resources that are available for successful student learning.
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm Jamie Pano.
I'm Chris Evans. Joel Holsapple.
And we are the group Expanding Capacity. Our overview is to expand capacity physically, so physical space, our resources, our support systems, and academic pathways to ensure highest student achievement.
On the slide, you can see some of the lofty goals that we have. 90% of our students in K-12 are reading at or above grade level. As we've said before, that is not the case now. We are looking to hit our 90% by 2027. Also, in order to accomplish these, provide professional development, coaching, supervising, and resource materials to all the teachers. And to develop a conscious curriculum and instructional delivery. Also, 90% of our students will pass grade level state assessments, including I Learn, I Read, PSAT, SAT, and beyond. Also, to ensure that 90% of our students will graduate with their cohort to utilize integration data from branching minds.
In expanding physical capacity, our target goal is to really utilize the space that we have and expand on that space to have a more efficient and effective learning space for our students. We'd like to anticipate an increase in enrollment, so in doing that, just making sure that we're ready to meet the needs of those kids coming in. Specifically with the spaces, we need to be able to meet them at their development level, so PK all the way through 12 plus. Currently we're doing things at the high school like creating a college lab, expanding the space here for the little cats.
We are looking to create a progression of work-based learning opportunities for all children pre-K through 12th grade and beyond. We would like to create clear pathway portfolios for every child in the district. We would like to create unique learning opportunities for all children in person, virtually, homeschooled, and homebound. And we would like to create an academy-based pathway for all students.
I just want to interject something just for clarification on this, on the progression of work-based learning opportunities, and that's our SEL curriculum that we have at Whitko. That, I just want everyone to understand, that falls under the IDOE and the state guidelines of curriculum that we are required as a public school system in terms of career placement and in terms of work-based learning opportunities that we have to offer for students K through 12. And I just wanted that to be clear because there's been some question about our cell curriculum and what's embedded in that. And what's in that are the standards that are required from the state of Indiana only. Thank you.
So when we talk about the expanding the support systems, one thing that we're just starting is it's called branching minds, and we're going to use that with our MTSS, which I'm going to struggle with, multi-tiered support systems, multi-tiered support systems. There's 3 levels. Tier 1 is for all of our students. Tier 2 is targeted and it's group interventions. And Tier 3 is intensive individualized interventions. And what we want with that is that we would have, as a district, Kirsten, South Whitley, the junior, senior high, we would have process and infrastructure in place to run those so that our students would know what to expect, our parents would know what to expect. And then as we look at the data, the part below that I'm going to talk about is that our special ed teachers would have that structure too, to support our students, and we have all that data that will help us to meet all of our learners. So we're really excited about that, and again, that's called branching minds, and we're just getting started rolling that out. We also want to use our data to increase the participation and our teachers' capacity and abilities to use the data for the programs that you see there, our high ability, our English language learners, our Title I, special education, alternative education, and early childhood education. All the pieces of data that we can have and we can house, and branching minds is the piece that will help us with that. Will help us to better educate the students that we currently have, and we hope that will make us a destination where people want to come because of the services that we offer, and we hope to be on the cutting edge.
Also, we are looking at increasing the number of highly qualified educators, not only the certified staff, but also support staff through hiring and retention. It is also a large component of the TAP and NIET. Through that, we are looking at partnering with universities. For example, Ball State is starting to use the NIET instructional rubric. And so what we're looking at is, through the Career Academy, sending our students who are aspiring to be teachers a partnership through Ball State where we can send them there. They can continue to receive instruction using the TAP rubric, getting their license, then they can come back to Whitko, facilitate their student teaching, and hopefully we create a farm club of homegrown teachers that are already well-versed in the TAP rubric. And then also students who are in the Little Cats program are offered a Teach Scholarship, which means they can get their college paid for.
All the way up to their master's. Any questions?
Could you tell me the tiers again on that?
Sure. So tier 1, and I didn't write down the percentages, but tier 1 is all students. So in the classroom, what every student would be getting. And that starts on the bottom. So tier 1, if you think of it, it's a triangle.
Yeah.
Tier 1 is all those students. Tier 2 is the targeted group intervention. So we have a few less students who get that. And then tier 3 is that top. That I think is like 5 to 10%, something like that. We hope very few students are getting that tier 3, that intensive, individualized instruction that they need is tailored specifically for them because of
could you explain the Ball State opportunity again on the teaching program?
Yes, yes. Ball State is right now venturing into using the TAP rubric. And so
Okay.
one of the things that they are working with their pre-service teachers is learning. The TAP rubric is something that basically breaks down what is high-quality instruction and teaching, student-centered. And so if they are graduating already having some of that knowledge, that not only saves each of our schools that prep time because they're front-loading all of that stuff, and to form a partnership and have a pathway directly to them not only helps facilitate their program, but also if we can reap benefits by bringing those students back to us, we have basically kind of completed the circle with, we start them out in the pre-service, they go to Ball State, and then we can, like I said, facilitate their student teaching, observations, and then with the hopes that we would be able to hire all of our students right back.
And that's going to go through this building, but it's kind of like the college pathway a little bit.
Yes, it already, Ms. Irwin already uses, is in charge of that type of program, that career program. And then what we will do is we will work with Ball State to see if we can start to create that partnership. We also, when we had our strategic planning, Brad Walsh came in and I spoke with him about that as well, to see if they are just now investigating, working with NIT.
So it's not really like work-based learning. Instead of them going out to get a job, it would be them going to Ball State for
Correct.
instruction.
Correct.
Either virtually or in person,
Exactly.
whichever. Okay.
So they would start the program here, and I believe the vision of that is the Ball State TAP initiative is they start the program here, where we virtually grow our own teachers. And when they would graduate here with the credits and the background they would earn here, they would go down to Ball State campus, and within about a 2-year period, they could be back to us in a student teaching capacity, at which time we could issue them provisionary contracts, and they could, after that student teaching time, they would be able to stay here and be full-time teachers, TAP trained, licensed, and with their degree. It's kind of a circular motion out of our collegiate pathways.
I know we have started talking with the different universities about what classes we can offer here to get them the needed coursework even before they go there. So that partnership has already been developed where if we need to offer some classes, we'll be able to offer them here even before they go on to the university.
I'm kind of curious about the Teach scholarships, how that will get those kids through even their masters. How does that work?
So it's basically right now, if a student, one of the capstone students or even one of the Little Cats teachers is interested in furthering their education, I can offer them something called the Teach Scholarship. And they can start by obtaining their CDA, their Early Childhood Development license, which will then give them credits toward their associates and then toward their bachelor's, all the way, if they'd like to, toward their master's for free. There is a commitment for them to stay with the partnering child care center or school corporation. And so with that, then we will keep them on staff while they're getting their teaching license virtually. So they will take the classes while on site at Little Cats and eventually get their license. It's K through 3 teaching license, pre-K.
Sounds very exciting. A lot of great things. Any other questions?
No.
Anyone? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good job.
All right, we will move on to the principal and director reports. Mr. Evans. We'll call you right back down. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, this isn't it. Try one more time. Thank you. Again, from the November, you can see the training that we've had. We're still in observation cycle 2. We have continuing support from our Stacy Canope. She's our specialist from NIT, and she has been working with ILT, the instructional leadership teams, clusters, doing long-range planning, observing, and doing some paired evaluations as well as the learning walks. I have been at the South Whitley Elementary ILT the last couple of times, and also Ms. Evans, as I stated at the last board report, she led their Lexile. If you remember, I presented that information to you for 7, 8, and 9, so we are trying to create that continuous data point all the way up. She will be going to Houston on January 11th to do the exact same ILT, and then I will follow up behind her again. And then hopefully by the January board report, I will be able to give you a completed K9 or 1-9 Lexile report, so you'll be able to see where the majority of our students fall. Today I happen to be at Pearson meeting with Mr. Lane, and he is using the data cards that were talked about earlier as well. So they are well on their way, and Mr. Holzapfel has those data cards in his hand. I gave them to him right as he walked in today. We are meeting again for the reading curriculum. As you can see, the members are there. The next committee meeting is January 10th. We held our meeting, and we are in the process of reviewing our current reading curriculum and all the supplements that go to that. We will be reviewing that on the 10th, and then also looking into based on the rubric we've created, does it do what we want it to do? And as you've seen from some of the data, at this time it does not. And then we will move on to addressing new curriculums and bringing in those that we need to present us other curriculums so we can research that a little bit better to see how they fall within the rubric that we've created. Then, NWEA, the window has opened. It opened last Friday, the 16th. And again, if all testing is done, I will be able to present to you the NWEA data as a whole at the next board meeting in January so that we can see the growth that we have projected we will have based on the reading instruction specifically at the elementary schools. As we said before, remember that the scores were not where we wanted them to be. Again, we heard in our committee report the lofty goals that we have. I hope to be presenting you some significant growth in those scores for NWEA.
Thank you.
Thank you. From Pearson Elementary, we have Mr. Lane.
Good evening. Thank you guys for taking a moment to kind of let me share about all the awesome things that are happening at Pearson. Our ILT, or Instructional Leadership Team, continues to look at what are the most effective tools that we can equip our teachers with that then allows them to equip our students to grow at the fastest rate possible. So that's included small group reading instruction, looking at what resources we currently have, what tools we have that are helping us assess where to place students, and then how to support them along the way. We also have, as Mr. Evans said, we're doing NWA. We're also doing Fontes and Pinnell assessments to just kind of check in where are those readers and how do we continue to grow them. We have our data wall up. We had our data meetings last week, and it was really powerful for our teachers to get those cards and move them along the way. And, we took that before picture and the after picture, and, that's empowering for our teachers and our students to know that they are making progress to where we want them to go. I want to say a thank you to Shannon Rouse, who stepped in and served as our interim teacher for our 6th grade language arts classroom. She did a fabulous job coming in and kind of being that bridge. I do want to say that we cast a wide net when looking for our 6th grade teacher for the spring semester. We have a gentleman who's joining us, Mr. Borman from Maryland, of all places. So we cast a wide net and found a good candidate. He also has some experience coming into a classroom mid-year and how to help those students transition from A to B. We do, at Pearston, a couple days a week, we also do book recommendations by students because, kids like to know what other kids are reading so that they know what they want to read. And we do that. Students write me a quick note, kind of what book they're interested in, why they're interested in. We read those out loud to students as part of our morning announcement a couple times a week. And they love hearing their names. And then they'll stop me in the hallway and be like, I got to tell you about this book. And I'm like, you got to write it down because I will forget if you just tell me right now. And they're really doing a great job. They love hearing about books and hearing what other kids like. We had 20 coats donated by the Coats for Kids or Coats for Kids program. 15 of those have already been given away, and 5 are still yet to be given away. We had a $500 donation from the Builders Association of North Central Indiana, and that's going to be used for gloves and hats for kids as we transition into the winter season. So that's really awesome. We have a song. I don't think anybody's going to dance, but we might have dance. Song and dance celebration with holiday or winter-based songs that we'll be doing on December 22nd. They told me to sing really quietly. We'll leave it at that. We also have a group of 6th grade students that are they are excited, and they are exiting our building at the end of the spring, but they are excited to kind of give back to Pearston. They are coordinating a popcorn sale, and then also they were like, could we do a bookstore? So we're encouraging that and seeing them kind of take on some leadership at the building, which is awesome. And they are like, they schedule a meeting with me, and they are real excited, and they give me their business proposal, so it's been a really great thing. In addition, we had our food drive that just ended on Friday. Now, I put in my board report that we had about 8 boxes of food. That is a gross underestimate. That was as of Wednesday. The last count that I got, that we have the count of, there were 1,168 items donated, and I believe that's still under what was actually donated. So almost 1,200 food items or personal hygiene items that will go to our Pearston Food Pantry to give back to our community. And we know that some of our students also utilize that, so giving back to our students directly as well. So that was really exciting. You see these bags of stuff, and the kids, little kindergartners, and their bags 500 pounds, but they were excited to get. We are planning to do our quarterly, so at the end of each grading period, those awards for individual students, both academic as well as learning behavior incentives, kind of recognizing the awesome things that they're doing, and we're excited to do that at the end of January or the beginning of February. So we'll welcome parents in and kind of encourage those students and encourage those families who are doing awesome things with their kids. Any questions?
Sounds
I
great.
forgot one thing. It was a packed house. We had our November 17th. That was right after our board meeting. We had our first choir concert, and I had to stand. We had so many families and so many students in the audience that it was standing room only, which that's a great thing in my eyes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Mrs. Evans from the junior senior high.
I would like to share something that is not on my board report. I would like to thank Mrs. Studebaker. She had approached me last year about a digital hall pass, and we finally were able to look into it, and I appreciate all the work that you did. She got us videos to watch and gave some advice on how to implement it with our teaching staff. So I'm very excited to announce we're going to start that in January. So thank you very much for all your work with that. It's greatly appreciated. Assessments, corporation-wide, Mrs. Shepard is doing an amazing job with everything that she does. Recently taking over the corporation testing coordinator, I had no idea what it was about. Mrs. Shepard is doing so much to help our kids, so a big thanks to her. We're getting ready to do the WIDA testing, and I am happy to say that we are now in compliance with the state requirements for testing and security training. After looking at what we do, it was determined that we need to have a corporation-wide procedure set, so if we do get audited, we're on the same page and we know exactly what to give to the state when they come. So all the principals and myself are meeting in January to make sure that we have those procedures in place and they're done with fidelity. We have our PSAT results back. The ILT group did some data analysis, and we are on more of a right-skewed bell curve, meaning we are not at average, so we have some work to do as far as that. Our teaching staff are going to have a chance to look at those scores, and this goes hand in hand to all the reading strategies that we're doing. Typically, our students do better in math than the reading portion, so we're going to be able to look at that data, and ASVAB we should have in the next couple days to evaluate also. I also started meeting with students to go over their PSAT scores. A lot of students have no idea what it is. That was really fun to talk with the kids and explain kind of what their strengths were and areas to work on. And I already have a lot of students wanting to retake it. So that just shows me that they weren't content with their score. They know they can do better. And we're getting them some support they need so they can do that. You always share my positive points. Jordan Leininger's Lilly Scholarship is phenomenal. She's our second one in 2 years. So it pays for everything for 4 years. It opens up the possibilities of where she can attend. So congratulations to her. I also would like to comment on our middle school robotics team. And I know you guys have heard a lot about them, but some of what you don't see is the student-centered focus that Mrs. Nepple brings. I went down and watched, and I see other coaches doing things for the kids. And Mrs. Nepple will stand back and you figure it out, I'm here to support you, but that's the true competition, what it's meant to be. And just being able to watch her and our kids, and then being able to see them think on the fly and adjust, they're creative. We have some phenomenal engineers coming up, and they've already asked me, can you get something at the high school? So next up, robotics at the high school, they're really excited, and I told them, keep pushing us to do that, and I know they will. So great job to them. Upcoming, of course, winter break, everybody knows that. And then I invited myself to go to Colorado with our FFA team. They are doing the national meets judging competition, so I'm looking forward to that, but I know the kids are as well, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. From the Career Academy, we have Mr. Benedict.
Good evening, good evening. I know that a couple of you had the opportunity to go through the construction lab and also the greenhouse, and obviously we're excited about those opportunities, and our staff members are as well. So looking forward to those getting up and running in the second semester at full force. We do have 2 classrooms that our construction trades kids are working on their former lab area that they had. They're putting those rooms back together because we're opening that entire corporation hallway up for Little Cats. Mr. Neely and Mr. Warwick, our instructional aide in construction trades, as well as Julie Grossman, have been working extremely hard to get those classrooms ready to go by second semester so we can make that move so those kids can get into their new areas. Our precision machining kids and our welding kids, as well as our engineering kids, had the opportunity the last 2 weeks to visit two companies here that are relatively close. They went to Paragon Medical on December 7th, and they went to Red Star Contract Manufacturing on the 14th. Both of those situations ended up with an initial lecture setting to where they're just kind of figuring out what those companies produce, what they do here locally for us, as well as then they moved into the tour portion of it to the manufacturing floor, the machining areas, and then wrapped up with question and answering sessions on just what it takes to be an employee at either one of those places, the importance of employability skills, the importance of interviewing skills, as well as getting your resume ready, cover letter, all those kind of things. So it's a great opportunity. I want to thank Jason Wolf and Jeff Dreyer from Paragon, and then at Red Star it was Katie Feesby, Kevin Bell, Matt Slusher, and Zach Baum. And then also, Mr. Doms, Mr. Oken, and Mr. Hallenball for getting those environments set up for our kids and those opportunities set up for our students. So wanted to touch base on that. Our work-based learning students, again, continue to thrive in their placements. A lot of those in-field experiences that they're getting are going to lead to future employment, future full-time permanent employment for a lot of our students. And they get raves from their employers back to our instructors, Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Benedict. And again, if any student wants to do that second semester, they have the opportunity to sign up second semester as well. Our business department, under the direction of Mrs. Lindsay, Miss Lindsay has been doing senior apparel items for our class of 2023. They designed the apparel. They've been marketing the apparel. They've been selling it, as well as then they will actually produce it and also then distribute that to any senior that purchased any of those items. Our 8th graders are wrapping up here semester 1. Last week they were able to go around and visit on the 15th. They were able to go around and visit every program that we have here at the academy. To get a better idea of what's available to them in the future, and also to kind of help them guide their selection process into one of the 4 freshman academies, either skilled trades, the public service, engineering, or the agriculture academy. So they had an excellent opportunity. All of our teachers and our kids did an excellent job of kind of getting them through that rotation. It's a little 5-minute rotation to each one of those programs, so they get about 13 different programs they kind of go through and see. So it's a great experience for those kids. Again, continuing our cluster meetings on Monday mornings and our LT meetings. Again, as Mr. Evans said, we're in cycle 2 of our observation period, wrapping those things up and working diligently with our staff on just the things that we're looking for in student work and student ownership, motivating students that are directly tied to that TAP rubric. Alternative school, Apex as well. A number of kids are wrapping up this week and open up a lot of quizzes and tests here over the last weekend as they're kind of getting their credits wrapped up here for semester 1. I'll have the total number for you in January when we have exactly how many credits we earned in the alternative program, as well as on Apex for the credit recovery as well. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. For, Director of Special Services, Mrs. Kellogg.
Good evening. So all of our refresher training for CPI has been completed, as well as our first initial training for this year. So I spoke with some building principals and just reviewing our staff, and I realized that we would need to do another initial training, so that's going to be happening after the first of the year. I want to take some time to thank Alexa Dolby for the amazing job that she's done in the ED room at our elementary South Whitley campus. She took a program that's still kind of in its infancy, and she just really kind of did a lot of progress with it, and she worked really hard with our students. Her initial resignation date was December 5th, but she decided to stay until the end of the semester just because for students with emotional disabilities, consistency is key and predictability is key, and it would have just been too chaotic to switch being so close to the end of the year. So I'm just really grateful that she was willing to put her career aspirations on hold to take care of our students. So I just really respect her for that, and I appreciate that she did that. I am pleased to announce that Amanda Johnson will be moving from the junior and senior high school, and she's going to leave the ED room at our South Whitley campus elementary after the break. She's had many years of experience with both elementary students and with emotional disabilities. And so I know that she's going to take the hard work that Alexa did in the first semester, and she's just going to completely take off with the second semester. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in that room. You mentioned, Shannon mentioned Shannon Rouse and how she did really well with the sixth grade at Pearson. And we're just pleased to announce that she's going to be going to the junior and senior high school and leading the EV room at that building. Last year, she stepped in because we could not find a teacher all year, so she was the one that stepped in to make sure that program kept running. So she does have that experience, and so I'm excited to see how she does that at the junior and senior high school level. And just some fun news that I wanted to include. The Life Skills program at the high school, the junior senior high, led by Amy Johnson, they did a holiday shop this month for students and staff. And so they basically worked really hard to make homemade crafts, and they sold that to the students and staff at that building. And so it was really cool just to kind of see, and I wish I had enough time to share the picture with you. I didn't get it until last minute. But we got a picture of them at their booth, and just the big smiles to see that their work was being valued, and just to see just the community come in and enjoy the hard work that they did. And so it taught, not only was their work valued through that, but it taught essential life skills such as hand-eye coordination for making those projects. They socially interacted, so they were the ones that were running that table, and it taught them budgeting skills, and they ended up making $64 from that table. So it was just really cool to see that happen. So just thank you for Amy Johnson for doing so well with that program.
Thank you. With athletics, we have Mr. Stingray.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight to share some athletic updates. Starting with our winter sports, 7th and 8th grade girls began practicing this past week, and they will have their first game when we come back from Christmas break on January 9th. Our 6th grade girls basketball program will begin practicing after Christmas break, and they will have their first game on January 31st. Some feeder program updates. Our girls travel basketball teams just finished up their second season. Dana Day has done a great job with that program, and she almost doubled the participation this past year. So really excited about that. Our football program has been hosting a camp for the past 3 Saturdays. They have 59 participants, K through 6, and they'll have 3 more sessions when we get back from Christmas break. Also, a plan has been put into place, WCA. The gym will be equipped with new volleyball equipment in order to host all K to 6 grade volleyball feeder program opportunities next fall. So that was sort of one of the last pieces in mapping out our feeder program and making sure that boys and girls in all their sports are getting adequate development and also utilizing the spaces we have. So really excited about that. In addition to our feeder program growth, we have several programs doing a great job hosting off-season development opportunities for our 7th through 12th grade students. Currently, our football, baseball, softball, and track athletes all have limited session practices taking place after school at the high school 2 days a week. So again, really excited about the different development opportunities we have coming up. We have several upcoming events when we get back from Christmas break. January 13th, we will have our junior high boys basketball recognition night. On the 20th, we will be recognizing our boys travel basketball players. February 4th, we will do a youth cheer introduction night during the boys basketball game, and February 11th will be boys senior night. For girls basketball, we will recognize the junior high girls basketball teams on January 27th, and we will also have senior night on the 27th as well. I'll be sure to post and email that information out, as that's a lot of dates to remember. Again, want to thank the Booster Club for all their support throughout our winter season so far, and working on a couple exciting projects with them as well, trying to get the Hall of Fame going again and a couple other items. Moving forward, we do have one major announcement tonight. Whitko students will receive free admission to home athletic events by presenting their picture ID. We would like to start this on January 9th. Exceptions would include tournaments and postseason events. And we felt that increasing student accessibility to athletic events aligns with our strategic priorities and also our focus on increasing participation in athletic events. So this is something we've been discussing and working through since late last summer, and we felt like now is as good a time as any to begin that and hopefully, like I said, increase our participation in athletics. Also going to continue working on the Student Athletic Council. That's starting to come together, and we plan on, throughout the next couple of months, putting a team together of students to help lead that. And then also a focus on our strength and conditioning classes. Going into second semester, I think we're around 75 to 80% of our athletes will be participating in strength and conditioning throughout the day, and also looking to sort of build that up through our feeder programs at the junior high level as well. So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mrs. Snavely with the Director of Operations.
Good evening. Thanks for having me tonight. For transportation, we have switched to Parkview as our new MRO. We've been with Outcome for as long as I can remember. They've done well, but they've decided to not handle the drug testing for the schools anymore. They're doing more of the open road truck driving. Parkview has done our last 2 random draws, and we've had a very good partnership with them through that. And so they will be our new MRO moving forward. We've had some absences, drivers, just sickness and stuff. We want to thank the drivers for kind of stepping up. Kristen has done a great job organizing all the different career academy shuttles and all of the sub routes. And not only that, but she's willing to jump in and drive anything. So a huge shout out for her for just the willingness and her organization with all of that. In maintenance, Joe Frank has resigned as our head custodian here at the Career Academy. I believe he's been here 3 years. We hired Melissa Ferris as a part-time custodian at the high school. She's been here almost a month. She's doing a really good job. I've heard some really good things about her. She's going to step in and take over as head custodian here at the Career Academy. Joel's last day is the 27th. Melissa's going to start at the end of this week to kind of shadow Joe a little bit and get to know the building and know what's expected. And I think she's going to do a really good job. She comes to us with 5 years experience at Manchester College as a custodian. So she's one of the qualified in this position. The new boilers at South Lily is wrapping up. They're set to start up tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So we're really excited to get that underway and just taken care of. That's been a long process and a big project. And with the temperatures this weekend,
Test this weekend.
I'm glad that this is getting up and running this week rather than later on down the road. Mr. Benedict kind of stole my thunder on some of the construction labs, so we covered all that. But we're really excited to get that up and started too. I know Chris Neely and his team has worked really hard to get those rooms done, and they've done a real nice job. He took me through a tour, and they look really nice, and I just appreciate all the hard work he's done.
Thank you.
Have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Klein, Director of Technology.
Good evening. Just a couple of brief things. We will be implementing student IDs over the winter break and distributing those to students when they get back. This will be eventually able for them to use those identification cards in the library, the cafeteria, and this is also going to allow them to get into the athletic events. Our new internet uplink and campus-wide network, that's been completed now, and our buildings are now connected to each other with a 10 gigabit connection. and we now have redundant uplinks to the internet here at Larwell and at South Whitley. So if the power does go out in South Whitley, the entire corporation doesn't suffer from that. Let's see. Pretty much winters are refresh time, so during the break we'll be making sure that staff devices and are updated and classroom equipment is working its best. And have a great Christmas break, and we'll see you all in the new year.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Superintendent update, Mr. Pavarnik?
Well, it's very impressive, all the reports I hear and the presentations that are done. And the headliners, I enjoyed being at the high school for the presentation of the scholarship. Enjoyed the Lamb being there. And I really enjoyed going to the Christmas concert. The Christmas band concert was phenomenal. The ham dinner was excellent. And that was a very good time, very good music, right, Georgia?
Good food.
Yeah, great food. And those Rice Krispie treats with the chocolate. I wish I had a few of those right now. I do want to say, though, this is our last board meeting of the year, of this 2022 school year. So I want to recognize and thank Bill. I want to thank you, Bill, for all your years of service to education. Thank you. And your years of service to this board. You know, Bill and I knew Bill before he had money, but Bill and I would go over the summertime and he'd pick me up and we'd go to lunch. And to go to lunch with Bill, he means to go out in his farm truck. And we go out to lunch and always end up with finishing lunch, which I always bought. And we'd get back in the truck and Bill always knew about an ice cream place not too far away. And we always end up at that ice cream place, which I always bought there too. And I always see Bill reach for his wallet when the ice cream would come, and I'd say, I get it, Bill. You never see a hand pull away so fast. Bill pulling his hand from his wallet. But I really appreciated those times with you, Bill, and having lunch and having ice cream. And to know Bill, this is what he brought me tonight for his swan song. He brought me this packet of the 20 top ice cream places in Indiana. And he made sure to tell me that most of them are just a couple hours away. That's Bill's way of saying that he and I are going to be hitting these ice cream places, I hope, this summer. So I really hope, Bill, that you come around this summer so we can visit a lot of these places, because Bill and I talk about solve the world problems in that farm truck and having lunch and eating ice cream. I want to thank you for your service here and thank you for being a friend of me here, not just the board member. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pavarnik. We have no public comments tonight, except that I did get a phone call this evening from Mr. Frank Rhodes. He's a prominent community member. He was hoping to be here tonight. He could not be here. So he sent me something that he would like me to read for Bill. So it goes something like this. It says, a few weeks back, I was attending a workshop meeting at Pearson Elementary School, and there was a group standing looking at a picture of the graduating class of 1964. Mr. Patrick indicated, I believe, that was the year he began coaching at Sydney School. I found myself intrigued as I began to calculate the years that Mr. Patrick has given to the business of educating our youth. And even as he closed his teaching career, he did not stop there. He went on giving to this process by coming on as one of the corporate leaders for our local corporation here at Whitko. If my math serves me correctly, I believe he has given just under 60 years of his life to this process of teaching young people in one fashion or another. In this, I salute you, Mr. Patrick, for this outstanding gift to our community, and look forward to what our Lord has for you in the future, because I don't believe he's done with you yet. In this, I say, job well done and carry on. With much appreciation, Frank Rhodes.
Wow, thank you. That was great.
And one more little thing. We as the board got you just a little something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me put it away.
You can wait or open it, it's up to you.
Open it right now, Bill.
Okay.
Otherwise, you might re-gift it. That's why we had your name put on.
It's a nice little clock. It says, Bill Patrick, thank you for 8 years of service, School Board Member 2016 to 2022, Whitko Community Schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bill.
All right, let's move on to the business reports and consent agenda. Again, it's an extensive list of employment actions and different board reports. I need a motion to accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I move that we accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the board report and consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. In new business, we have the approval of the cell phone allowance list, which adds Rhonda Snavely, our Director of Operations. Can I get a motion to approve that list, please?
I move that we approve the addition to the cell phone allowance list as outlined in 7.1.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the addition to the cell phone allowance list as outlined in 7.1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. In 7.2, we have the approval of Board Policy 5610, revision regarding expulsion appeals, in which the school board will not hear expulsion appeals. This is a first reading. The second and final reading will be at the regular January meeting. Can I get a motion to accept this first reading, please?
I make a motion that we accept the first reading of Board Policy 5610.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve Board Policy 5610, the first reading. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion does pass. In 7.3, we have the approval of Board Policies 164.4, 164.5, 164.6, and 167.1 regarding school board members' electronic meeting participation, in which one school board member may participate in a meeting virtually as long as a quorum of members are physically present at a regular meeting. This is a first reading. The second and final reading will be at the regular January meeting. Can I get a motion to accept the first reading of these policies?
I make a motion that we accept the first reading of the board policies as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the readings of these policies as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.4 is the approval of annual field trips along with the following one-time field trips, and there's a list. I won't go through those and read them. I think you've all read them. Can I get a motion to approve the annual field trips with the one-time field trips listed?
I move that we approve the annual field trips listed along with the one-time field trips listed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the annual field trips along with the one-time field trips that are listed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. There is no old business at this time. Mr. Pavarnik, do you have any miscellaneous items?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
All right, I have a miscellaneous item to give you guys. We have a Board of Finance meeting Wednesday, January 11th at 4 o'clock. That's January 11th, 2023. Right here in the lecture room. This will be followed by our reorganizational meeting at approximately 4:15. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
We adjourn?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Can you send me that?
Yes. Yes, I will.